Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to read an article on the 10 classic 70s foods we miss like crazy. The 70s was a decade of bold trends and unique food experiences. From what many of you may remember, many of the foods that were once the trend are nowhere to be found on grocery store shelves or restaurant menus unless you recreate them. While some of these foods were ahead of their time, others simply couldn't stand the test of time. Take a nostalgic trip back to the 1970s and discover the 10 classic foods that have disappeared. At number 10 on the list is Muggo Lunch. The 70s was quite a year, especially for the newly introduced Muggo Lunch from Betty Crocker. These hot meals were advertised as dishes that you could easily create from a mug. They offered the classic mac and cheese, beef noodle, chicken noodle, and spaghetti. They were sold as dried powder in packets that you can add in boiling water and stir for 5 minutes. At number 9 on the list are Space Food Sticks. Pillsbury once developed a high-energy, chewy snack made for NASA astronauts. The snack actually fits right through a small, airtight opening in an astronaut's helmet. After they were marketed to the public following the popularity of the Apollo space mission, they even come in different flavors: orange, chocolate, caramel, and peanut butter, among others. At number 8 on the list is Watergate Salad. Remember those pistachio-flavored salads? Yep, those were the Watergate salad that was once served as desserts back in the 1970s. They're made out of canned pineapple, pudding, whipped cream, pecans, and marshmallows all mixed together. Kraft actually developed a pistachio-flavored instant pudding meant for the Watergate salad recipe. At number 7 on the list is Wacky Cake. Seems weird for a cake name, right? This 70s dessert was called Wacky Cake since it pours wet ingredients into the small wells holes in one cake pan. These easy-to-make cakes don't include eggs and dairy, which is reminiscent of the Great Depression. At number 6 on the list are cheese balls. These cheese balls were huge in 1970s parties, and if you happen to taste one today, then you're lucky. It features a huge amount of rolled up cheeses that are coated with nuts and herbs. At number 5 on the list are pizza spins. Back in the 60s and 70s, the pizza spins from General Mills were a popular snack that everyone had in their pantries. They are these pinwheel-shaped crackers with flavors of tomato, cheese, and spices. Yep, they're pretty much created to taste like pizza. However, by the late 70s, they flew off from grocery shelves. At number 4 on the list is Quiche Lorraine. Quiche Lorraine is actually a French delicacy that rose to popularity back in the 1970s and 80s. They're typically served as brunch, as it features bacon lardons, cheese, eggs, and cream that are all baked in a golden pastry. At number 3 on the list is fondue. Fondues were huge back in the 1970s. It features a bowl of melted cheese where you can dip fresh bread. Today, you will only see fondues when you visit ski resorts, as they're typically served in colder weather. At number 2 on the list are cheese and pineapple hedgehogs. Who knew you could pair pineapples with cheese? While this combination may be weird to some, these skewers actually existed in parties back in the 1970s. They're simply skewers with cheese cubes and pineapple that are stuck together to resemble a hedgehog. And finally, at number 1 is Jell-O salad. One popular 1970s dish that we can think of is Jell-O salads. It's understandable how everyone was obsessed with Jell-O back in the day, but making a salad out of it is a little extreme. They're a mixture of different savory ingredients like cheese, salmon, and veggies. Yep, it's completely understandable why we don't see Jell-O salads anymore, but they're nostalgic enough for many of us to remember. Alright, there you have it, the 10 classic 70s foods we miss like crazy. Do you guys remember any of those foods? Put it in the comment section, I'd be interested to hear from you. If you enjoyed this video, please take a second to give it a like. You can do that now. And if you really enjoy this type of content, consider subscribing to the channel.